Between the mountains was a valley, which people called the Gray's Country. The valleys there changed with each season. Sometimes fog, sometimes snow, and sometimes the grass became so green that it seemed as if the earth had drifted away. But there was a secret in this valley. People said that anyone who spent the night in the Gray's Country must have a message in a dream. Some dreams brought joy, some dreams sadness. A young shepherd named Arian lived on the banks of the valley. Arian took his goats to the pasture all day and spoke to the stars by night by looking at the sky. But many nights his dreams began to change. In a dream came a girl with golden eyes, and she repeatedly said, "Arian, free me, ... Know the truth of Gray Country." Arian ignored these dreams for several days, but the girl came every night, sometimes seemingly hiding among the trees, sometimes shaking her hands from the top of the snowy mountain. Then, one day he went to the great shepherd Baba Kamar and told him about his dream. Baba Kamar took a deep breath and said, "Son, this is no ordinary dream. There is an old magic hidden in the valley of Gray's Country. The girl you see in a dream is actually a prisoner of this magic. If you unlock her secret, the valley will change, but beware. Not every trial is easy." Aryan's heart was filled with fear and curiosity, and he decided he would look for this girl, even if he did not have to go to the most dangerous part of the valley. The next morning, Aryan began to lead his goats to the forest instead of the pasture. His heart was saying that the answer lies behind the thick trees, and he went and stood at a place. And suddenly a cold gust came, and the branches of the trees began to tremble mightily. The road is not easy, ... There is a secret at every step. Ryan's heart was shaking, but he was brave as he walked. He came to the shore of a lake. The water of the lake was clear, but the depth seemed as if there was another world hidden beneath it. In the water of the lake he saw the same girl, who was smiling. He whispered, "Arian, you have to find a Wolf to free me." It was said that the gray wolf appeared in the middle of the night, and whoever saw it never lived as it had before. My father once said, "This wolf is the enemy and the guide. If the heart is pure, it guides the way. If the heart is in doubt, it destroys." Arian decided that no matter what, he would look for the gray wolf. At night he pitched a tent by the lake. The moon was spread across the sky and the valley was plunged into silence. Suddenly there was a whirl in the bushes, and two glowing eyes appeared in the darkness. ... Aryan's feet froze like the ground. The wolf standing in front of him was not ordinary. His color was like ashes. His hair looked like a mist wrapped around it, and his eyes were white like snow but full of windy awakening light. The wolf slowly moved forward and sat right in front of Arian. The cold air was coming out of his breath. Ryan said boldly, "Are you the gray wolf that people fear?" The wolf did not speak, but there was an answer in his eyes. He was staring at Arian without blinking. Suddenly a voice echoed in Aryan's mind, as if someone had spoken in his heart. "Yes, ... I am. But the question is, who is it? And why did you come looking for me?" Arian said, trembling, "I see a girl in a dream. She asks me for help. She says, 'Find the gray wolf ... single quotes, and I come here.'" The wolf closed his eyes as if he were remembering an old wound. Then his silent voice echoed in Aryan's heart. "She is real, but it is not easy to set her free. You must go through 3 trials. If she succeeds, she will be free ... And if she fails, your soul will be imprisoned in this valley forever." He thought for a moment. A wave of fear ran through his heart, but then he remembered the eyes of the girl in the dream. He said without hesitation, "I'm ready for every trial." A soft glow wafted in the eyes of the wolf for a moment. He said, "The first test will begin at sunrise. Be ready, O son of the shepherd." The first rays of the morning were rising from behind the mountains. The gray wolf led Arian into an open field across the lake, where a rocky circle was formed in the middle of the earth, like a centuries-old altar. "This is the first test. Here you will know the difference between truth and falsehood." You will be asked 3 questions. If you answer with your heart, the circle will be filled with light. If you tell a lie, these stones will swallow you up. And then he said to himself, well, he's going to ask, but he doesn't know what he's going to ask. The first question is correct. Arian, what are you most afraid of? Arian's lips were dry, but he told the truth. I'm afraid I'm not going to break my heart. There was a little light on the stones. An event flashed like lightning in Arian's mind. Years ago, he had hidden his friend's goat to scare him in the game. But the friend had been looking for the goat crying all day. Arian remembered that he still regretted it. He bowed his head and said, yes, ... Once I joked with my friend who became a burden on his heart. He was a fraud. And the light became brighter. As if the truth had been accepted, the third question came. So why would you want to save the girl you've never really seen? Arian took a deep breath. Because she seems to me closer to life in my dreams. I think that if I did not help her, I would lose my true identity. And suddenly the whole circle became bright, and the earth trembled a little, and green light appeared on the stones and flashed toward the sky. After the first trial, Arian's heart was strong, but Grey Wolves warned, now your endurance will be tested. This is the test in which most people fail. They both came to the middle of the forest, where a dark cave was open, with cool air and strange whispers coming from within. There is a magic of voices within the cave. Whoever goes in will hear his weaknesses. If he cannot bear these voices, he will become mad. You must cross the cave. Arian took a deep breath and stepped into the cave. As he went on, it became dark and dark. Suddenly hear voices in his ears. Arian, you will fail ... You are weak ... It will not all happen to you. He stood, and his heart began to sink, and the drops of sweat began to flow from his forehead. Then came another voice that sounded like his own. You are the son of a shepherd. Your destiny is only to feed the goats. This magic is not yours alone. Then he closed his eyes and smiled at the girl, who was looking at him in a dream. No. I am greater than my weaknesses. My heart is true, and I will not turn back. And he went forth, and the voices shouted loudly, but he did not restrain his footsteps. And the light appeared unto him, and he came forth from the edge of the cave. The Grey Wolf stood outside. He looked at Arian with his snow-like eyes and said, you have won the second test. Now there is only one last test left, the bracelet. Arian and Grease Wolves returned to the shore of the lake, but the view of the lake had changed. The water was filled with darkness and shining light, as if every drop concealed a truth. The wolf said, Arian, this is the final test. You will face your greatest horror, the truth you have been hiding from yourself. He was in the heart of Arian, but he decided, I'm ready. I'll see what happens. The Grey Wolf shook his head and showed his mirror on the surface of the water. Arian looked at himself, but this mirror was not what he knew. It was a mirror full of fear and self-doubt. Then Arian raised his hand towards the water, and suddenly he was lost in the depths, and a scene appeared. He recalled the incident of cheating on his sister as a child, the moment when he turned his back on his weaknesses, and the time when he ran away from his responsibilities seeing the girl in his dreams. The wolf cried, this is the truth that will set you free or imprison you. Accept it or be in chains of fear. He closed his eyes and said, all this is my part and I accept it. I will not run away from my mistakes and fear. I will fight with all my strength and truth. When Arian accepted the power of his truth and heart, a ray of golden light arose on the surface of the water. The light opened a box in the middle of the lake, in which the girl was locked. Arian opened the box, and the girl, who had been seeing her in dreams, came out with freedom. Her golden eyes were light, and all the joys of the world in a smile. The Grey Wolf shook his head and said, you have succeeded, Arian. You have conquered everything with the truth of your heart and with courage. This valley will now be illuminated by the light of your spirit. The girl took Arian's hand and said, thank you. You have not only set me free, but also revived the spirit of the valley. The valley of the Grays country was not as quiet and fearful as before. The waters of the lake became clear. The snow of the mountains melted, and the meadows looked green and full of flowers. The people of the village were also surprised. Those who had once been afraid to go near the valley now came and became part of this beauty. Arion and the girl make a new beginning in life together with the people of the valley. The Volf, once a symbol of fear, now becomes the protector of the valley. Arion understood that with courage, truth, and sacrifice, all darkness can be illuminated. Arion and the girl started a new chapter of their life in the valley. The villagers also gradually attracted to the beauty and peace of the valley. Arion understood that the real strength in life lies in overcoming fear and sticking to the truth of the heart. He was now not only the protector of the valley, but also a sign of hope for the people. The Gray Volf, once a manifestation of fear, now became the leader and protector of all. He lived with Arion and protected the valley. Every evening when the moon spread, the Volf would see Arion standing on the lakeside and smile quietly. The valley of the Grays country was no longer the same as before. The valleys were full of flowers, the lake transparent, and the mountains bright. The villagers also began to live happily. A strong bond was formed between Arion and the girl, which was based on love, trust, and shared experiences. Every roar of the valley, every thunder of the air, and every shining star all testified that the light of courage, sacrifice, and truth always prevails over darkness. Gray's country was now not just a valley, but a story, a lesson, and a symbol of hope for every heart.